Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and good evening. Today, once again, we are going to talk about the proposed 27th Amendment that the government is planning to place before the Parliament, either of the two houses. A lot of meetings are going on among the political parties on the government side as well as on the opposition side. What are the main points that this new amendment, which is proposed by the government, will bring changes to the judiciary as well as other articles which are going to be amended through this effort by the government. So I have a very prominent lawyer, Faisal Chaudhry. He is also associated with the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Thank you very much, Mr. Faisal, for joining me here tonight. Kindly tell me what you as a lawyer think that how this amendment is going to affect the superior judiciary of the country.
Thank you, Waheed, for having me on your show. I personally believe, being a lawyer and being a citizen, that 27th Amendment as well as 26th Amendment, the both amendments have targeted the judiciary in adverse manner. Um, there was no doubt that previously the judiciary undermined democracy, especially under the reign of Iftikhar Chaudhry, and abused the powers available to it under the constitution in a very negative manner. Therefore, after bringing these amendments, I don't see any change. The courts have not been able to strengthen the democracy. They have not been able to safeguard the fundamental rights which are provided under the Constitution. And frankly speaking, the public at large has lost its confidence in the judicial institution or judicial limb of the country. And at the moment, if anything is miserably failing in Pakistan, uh, it is judiciary most of all, amongst all other institutions. I don't say that all the other institutions are working very fine, but judiciary, parliament, and executive, amongst these three pillars of the state, I think judiciary is suffering at the most.
Well, you said that let's talk about the 26th first. 26th Amendment. You said that it affected adversely the judicial system in the country. My question is that when General Musharraf in 99 took over the power, removing Nawaz Sharif's government, and he introduced PCO, under which the judges were supposed to take the oath. So we have seen that many judges refused, even when, once again in 2007, yeah, I believe, that the judges were asked to, take their oath under the PCO. So there were dozens of judges, who refused. Why the judges today, either they're, from the superior judiciary or the high courts or the lower courts, they didn't oppose that 26th Amendment?
No, in fact, let me set the record straight in history. Record, those seven judges were not offered oath by the General Musharraf. Otherwise, everybody was almost ready. Maybe there were one or two exceptions, but the same the PCO judges, which later on in 2007 also, they also took oath under that, and it was a rather a mimicry to say that PCO judges and non-PCO judges. Every judge in Pakistan is almost a PCO judge. We took oath under the Provincial Constitution Order, and uh, before 2000 there were judges. Post 2000 there were judges. Post judicial moment there was judges who've been benefited from the PCOs, as we call it, Provincial Constitution Orders. In 26th Amendment, the major diversion which took place is that few judges were picked up, handpicked, and placed in the constitutional bench. And the constitution, this amendment itself created discrimination amongst the judges. All the Supreme Court judges who are elevated on the same criteria, who have the same qualifications, but only few of them have been, entrusted with these duties, and that also in the violation of the seniority principle. In India, neighboring India, there were five senior most Supreme Court judges who uh, are entrusted with the duty to hear the constitutional cases. But here, the seniority principle has been violated, and by those who are affected, who are also part and parcel. Let me be very candid about that. And we see that 26th Amendment is only applicable in 10% maybe of Pakistan. Not even Islamabad High Court has followed that. Lahore High Court has not followed it. KP and Balochistan are also those courts which do not follow the 26th Constitution. Up till now, there's no constitutional benches, or there's no applicability of Practice and Procedure Act, which and only Supreme Court and Sindh High Court are the two courts where this is. I mean, that is rather strange to see that constitution, which is applicable only about 10% of the total area of Pakistan, and this is a very unique situation. Had it been so beneficial, why PML Nawaz has not opted to create constitutional benches in the province where they are governing, because they were the very instrumental in bringing these amendments. Likewise, and the Constitutional Court has proposed in the 27th Amendment, it was discarded back in 2009 when the 18th Amendment was introduced by the then major political parties, PML and People's Party. And it was never opted, not in 2008 to 13 or 13 to 18. There were the PML Nawaz and People's Party never tried to establish that court. And rather, they immensely empowered.
But the same parties, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the same parties are now, they are working on it.
Yeah, but this is highly suspicious circumstances. Why
What are your
amendment?
fears? What are your fears that if there is a constitutional court in Pakistan, what are your fears about regarding the functioning of that court, how it is going to affect the other courts like Supreme Court of Pakistan, and how it is going to affect the people of this country?
With very frankly, this 27th Amendment will collapse the remaining structure of judiciary. You see, the 27th Amendment Constitutional Court now will be acting as a supra parliament body. And in COD, as it was claimed, it was proposed to be formulated or to deal with those constitutional amendments which were brought in the constitution by the dictators, primarily with General Musharraf. But and there was nothing, and it was for the limited time period. And now it is, if this constitution court will be established, obviously the judicial commission, where the executive has upper hand, the sitting government has upper hand, by the majority belongs to them. They will appoint the judges of their own choice.
Choice.
And yeah, and plus, if you offer 3 years to the judges, and those judges who are retired, this is going to control the parliament through constitutional bench. And we already, as I just told you, that because of the violation of the seniority principle, uh, the judges which are serving the constitutional bench, I mean, frankly speaking, if you ask any independent person or third party, they will say that even the constitutional capabilities of few judges are quite under question. You know, and those judges who are known to the best
What
constitutional
is their
minds.
names? What's their names who are not competent to be the judge of the superior judiciary?
I will face the contempt. Are you ready to face the contempt?
No, but
So let it be
let it
as it
go.
may.
Okay.
All right.
quote unquote. You are saying anyhow. You kindly tell me, can we have a two? I mean, the Constitutional Court will have its own Chief Justice, and the Supreme Court will have its own Chief Justice. Who will be the superior? I mean, uh, where the people will look, from the judicial or legal point of view.
See, the important cases all over the world are those who involve the constitutional questions and the political scene. These are things which are always considered. Otherwise, I mean, there is a judicial magistrate and there's a Supreme Court judge. It's the same powers, or just appellate court. It will be like a session court. That's all. The power which is enjoyed by the superior courts is the constitutional powers. And if you take it away from Supreme Court of Pakistan, Supreme Court would be as ordinary court as any other court can be. And the Constitutional Court obviously will be considered superior because it will deal with those cases which are constitutional in nature and which make and break the history, legislative history, and political history of the country. And those courts, wherever you see where the parliamentary system like us is working, you don't see two courts. These courts are only in few countries where the listed governments. Listed means that the parties give their members name of their members, and and the people vote for the parties, and according to the number of votes they get, their members get chosen in the parliament and they get represented. So there is a different thing, but here in Pakistan, as 1973 constitution was a consensus constitution, though there are many changes which were inserted there and then by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Even if Mufti Mahmood Saab was thrown out of the session, and it was also a dictatorial method, but by and large, it is considered as a consensus constitution. So whenever you try to bring amendments in the constitution, the first requisite for any such authority will be that whether they have contested election on this issue to bring changes in the amendments in the constitution. The both parties have not have not contested election, so they lack the mandate. Had it been in the part and parcel of their manifesto, that could have been a different debate. But they are not the representative parliament per se, because it is, as per our view, very firm view, it is Form 47 parliament. It is imposed parliament. It has not been chosen by the people of Pakistan, and their mandate is under highly, not only from our side or the opposition side, but all independent third party analysis also confirm our allegation, and they prove it that
But
it's
then
a
there is
most
a
regular.
system. Then there is a system. There is a CEC. Then there are courts. Then there are tribunals. So I think that so far your party, and as you claim, it has not been entertained by any of these institutions. I would like you to please throw a light as a senior lawyer. What is the problem with the appointing a judicial magistrates? And then there is also, people are talking about the transfers and postings of the judges.
See, first, you make observation that CEC and other courts have not entertained. It's a controlled judicial. That's what our main objection is. That the chief election commissioner, the chief election commission, and election commission and other courts are controlled. And one judge who dared to question the legitimacy of the three seats in Islamabad, he's been targeted, in a manner which is unprecedented. Secondly, your question pertaining to the appointment of the to the judges in
Magistrate,
the.
judicial magistrates, as well as their transfers and postings of the judge.
No. There's a judicial magistrate is a subordinate judiciary. So when we talk about superior judiciary, they're judges. So you see,
Okay.
Wahid, those superior court judges, which are fundamentally responsible to deliver and safeguard the fundamental rights which are enshrined in the Constitution, they have to have the job security, which is beyond any disturbance and any pressure, and they have to be provided with the atmosphere where they can work independently without any coercion. If the judges are made will be subjected to the transfer and posting, and if they do not want to work in any other province, it is also a matter of choice. So they will be considered retired. In this manner, which judge will be able to deliver justice or administer justice in a free way? There's no possibility. So instead of strengthening the judiciary as a this amendment and this specific transfer in judges and appointment of judges is basically to weaken the judiciary. We, as a bar and even the common people of Pakistan, are not satisfied with the judicial appointments. The manner and mechanism of judicial appointment is highly objectionable. And you know, you just like in the Western democracies, like in US and UK, and Westminster democracy, which is near to our system, uh, there's a common people who had the judicial commission, not like here that where the government and the few judges they get together and get their chambermaids appointed as the judges, and during these appointments many capable lawyers they have never offered. Whereas in America also there's a scrutiny by the Senate and the both houses is immensely, they grill them like anything. So these things need to be improved, which unfortunately are not part of 27th Amendment.
Kindly tell me about there's also some talk of extending the retirement age of the judges. Uh, do you think that the present age, which is fixed for the Supreme Court judges, it should be extended and it will not have any impact on the judicial independence of the judiciary or something like that?
See, I see these enhancement of the age of retirement uh, as an effort to bribe judiciary. Just to allure them for more perks and privileges. The current ages are fine; they're working fine. I mean, 62 and 65 in Pakistan. There are a few people and the judges like Iftikhar Chaudhry. That how difficult that was, even in that age. So if you add 3 years tenure with a person like Qazi Faizisa, who will happily ruin the law and the justice for his own likes and dislikes, as is my opinion, and he has been doing that. So I think 65 and 62 is perfect age. There's no need to change it. Otherwise, I mean, there's nothing. We cannot construe anything else but a judicial bribe.
What about the Article 243?
Well, that is something which, frankly speaking, more like it is administrative proposal for the military setups, and even if you change the name of food and empower the incumbent army chief, and abolish the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee and introduce Field Marshal as the new head of the forces, I don't see any problem there. I think that is administrative decision that was abolished back in 1973 by Bhutto Sab at that time, and if it is reconstituted, I don't see any problem there.
NFC, because there is a People's Party saying that the powers of the provinces, the financial powers of the provinces are going to be taken away, and which naturally they would oppose to it. So, what's your opinion about the allocation of the funds, the division of the funds between the federal government as well as the provincial governments.
See, as we call it, can, you please repeat your question? I'm sorry.
My question is that there is also, proposal that the allocation of the funds between the center and the provinces under the NFC, that should be revised, because there is a debate going on for a long time that the federal government has to, allocate money for the defense, as well as paying the debts, and then paying to the provinces. The federal government doesn't have that much money for the public sector development programs or any other, program for the development. So therefore, they wanted to reduce the financial allocation to the provinces.
See, there is a need to balance out 18th Amendment. I tend to agree with that, and I tend to concur with that. The financial management between the federation and the provinces is highly objectionable, because the provinces do not share the due share of the districts, and that's why they do not. No, I mean, you must have seen the local governments are always non-existent, because they do not. The provinces do not want to share their the financial share or powers with the local governments. So what they do is that they keep on lingering local governments from one way or the other. And secondly, yes, there is a need to sort of there's a need to harmonize the tax collection, so that when the federal government comes with the heavy loans, and they have to repay that, and then in the repayment, the provinces claim their due share uh, in NFC, National Finance Commission. But if they have not opted for Provincial Finance Commission, under which the money and the finances goes to the lowest grassroots level,
Districts
and
and
they are
yes.
also not ready. They are not ready to pay their share in the payback of the loan. So and especially now the government says, after fighting two wars, and they have to cater to the defense, the defense requirements of Pakistan. So I think that needs to be addressed, and that needs to be readdressed. I would rather say that that needs to be readdressed, so that the adjustment of the loans, and that's how the federal government will have more money in their kitty, and the that is more technical and financial issue. Uh, but in my personal opinion, the 18th Amendment needs to be balanced out. But that,
You're
on the
right.
other
You're right,
hand,
because
that is also a fact that that is
during PTI government,
like one provision.
when yeah, when your party came into power in
Sorry,
2018, even at
let
that.
me just add one sentence.
G, please.
That even today, the PTI, JUI, People's Party, ANP, they are all, at one page on an NFC. They are not ready to, sort of
Yeah.
pull it back. They don't want that. So all the political parties, even the PML and Mariam Nawaz, will also be on the same page, because they it serves their financial interests.
And chief minister, your chief minister also was giving such kind of statements. Well, taking a benefit of your presence, since you are, a lawyer, and we spoke about the 27th constitutional amendment proposed, in fact. I would like to ask you a couple of questions. One question is that new chief minister of KP, the way he's making the statements. Yesterday, he gave a statement that the security, people, they used to bring dogs to the mosques, and then he was also giving certain other statements. Do you think that such kind of a statements or a phraseology using at this time, point of time when the security forces are fighting war against terrorism, do you think it is advisable for a chief minister to make such announcements?
I think that with he needs to be a little cautious, not little, much more cautious. And it was a very lousy statement, especially particular to Pakistan Army and the way, nobody has ever come up with these kind of accusations. He must realize now that he is not no more a tutor troll. He is the CM of and chief executive of a province. So it's better to behave in that behave like a CM instead of being just a naughty and careless young boy. He is the same now, and he needs to realize that. I think that statement, particularly uh, pertaining to the mosques and all that, it is very objectionable. I totally agree, and I'm not ready to defend it.
Who's guiding him?
I think nobody is guiding him. That is the problem. He needs guidance.
No, but he is the choice of your PTI founding chairman.
Well, the PTI founding chairman has not chosen the wrong person for the first time or the last time. It may be one another edition, like Bozdar, like the incumbent leadership of PTI. So there are many. Soil needs to grow up.
What's your opinion that the way the party is being handled, uh, and there is a lot of divisions, there is a lot of, we see, uh, various groups which has come up. So do you think in this manner they are going to achieve the target of getting their leader out of the jail, one, through naturally through the courts, and secondly, keeping the party intact, to be a political force to oppose if there are certain government decisions which are not in the favor of the public?
See, I don't think so. It's going to help, and it will rather, create more difficulties in getting the Imran Khan out, and that's what the political and the party leadership needs to realize, that they need to be cautious and they need to adopt a political approach rather than collusion course. That will not help at all. It has been proven, and frankly speaking, this mindset needs to be changed, and a political approach needs to be to overcome these things. And there are many political people in PTI who are willing to to sort of indulge into political negotiations and for Imran Khan's uh, release. But the way these that hawkish approach will not help at all. And all those groups who are trying to be, trying to get the number, they may think then when Imran Khan will come out and we will be, in the good books and we'll get but I don't see in by going on this path or adopting this path will help them. I think Imran Khan will be behind the bars for many more years than we anticipate if the party and the uh, executive heads do not take some sensible decisions or sensible, they do not adopt some sensible course.
Final question: who is running the social media of PTI? It is being managed within the country, or it is being managed out of the country, which we have seen that also contributes um, to the troubles, not only to the top man who is inside the jail, but to the party as well. So, who's running the entire social media show?
I have no idea, and frankly speaking, the social media needs to to be toned down. There is no second opinion, and more political approach rather than agitation and being a childish all the time. Being just to I don't know what's in the mindset of those people who are running it. If they think that in this manner they can create pressure on the forces and establishment, they're mistaken. First of all, they need to indulge in talks instead of gluing with the forces or establishment.
Thank you very much, Faisal Chaudhry, senior advocate and a leader of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, for sparing your precious time for this show. Thank you very much, please.
Thank you, sir.